From the front line in Bajour, I returned to Peshawar. I've heard that after I left, Colonel Zayed and the men I had seen go into battle came under heavy fire again. The fighting lasted 3 hours, and in the end, 7 of his men were killed, 27 wounded. One of the wounded was Colonel Zayed himself. His right foot was so badly injured that it's been amputated. In the military hospital here in Peshawar, I found his wife Uzma by his bedside, along with friends.
Hello, Rageh. Nice seeing you.
Getting back to normal. We were going for the compound, which were occupied by the miscreants.
Yeah.
And over there, I got a mortar shell and 2 bullets in my right foot. So they tried their best, doctors.
Well, it's a big sacrifice. It's a very big sacrifice.
No problem. These sacrifices we have to make for the country, for the religion, more important.
More important.
Yeah.
Sure.
We are not scared of sacrifices. You see, he's joined the army to serve the country. So that's no problem.
Good.
We are not scared.
She's more brave than me.
There speaks a soldier's wife, glad at least that her husband is alive. But that grit captures the mood of Pakistan's army today.
Take care. Thank you very much.
The gravity of what's happening in Bajour is being felt in Islamabad. President Zardari has called a meeting of the elected politicians from the federally administered tribal areas known as FATA to try to work out what can be done to bring stability to the region.
People have this impression that this is a law and order situation, whereas it is not a law and order situation. This is a full-fledged insurgency going on in FATA. In order to have peace and stability in FATA, peace and stability in Afghanistan is a must. Right now, there's a lack of confidence between the two countries and the leadership, so we need to do something for that. Some bridging needs to be done.
ये जो ड्रोन्स वाला सिलसिला है इसने एक बार फिर जो
This business of drones has once again created suspicion among the people. That's why hatred for Americans is growing. And we would say to the Americans and the NATO forces that they should understand that this area has been a victim of war for years. This area has been the front line of the Russian war. And we need them to start thinking of development and improving the lives of the people. And above all, to listen to their grievances.
The American drone attacks have greatly inflamed the situation, and Washington is still pressuring the government to do more to destroy Al-Qaeda and Taliban sanctuaries in the tribal areas. But President Zardari knows he has to deliver development to achieve a lasting solution.
We've got to get them special concessions. We've got to put in industrial bases there. We've got to put in proper units to employ the youth. Today, the militants pay more than we can pay our soldiers. They're that rich. So one has to make the region understand that it's in their own interest, in the interest of the future generations.
One way the government hopes to turn the tide against the militants is by supporting local tribal leaders, the Maliks, who want to take on the Taliban. The government has taken a gamble and has armed local units of tribesmen known as Lashkars. One of the biggest has been formed by the Salazai tribe in East Bajour. On the way back to Bajour, I've stopped off in Salazai country to meet them. They claim to have 4,000 fighters. Once they supported the Taliban, but turned against them when they started killing Salazai tribal leaders.
We don't know why they are doing this. We don't know what they want, what their purpose is, or why they are destroying the peace here. They are killing Maliks and local people.
What is the way forward for ordinary people?
The Lashkars have done all they can to bring about peace and will continue to bring about peace. But in the end, it's the government's responsibility to bring about overall peace in this area and to provide security for the people. We will do what we can to support all the security agencies, whether it's the Bajour Scouts, the Bajour Police or the Army, inshallah.
Now, a sense of normality has returned to the Salazai area. a confidence. The shops are now open. The Lashkar here is all-powerful and on guard to make sure the Taliban don't return. This could be a turning point in the fight against the Taliban, but the fear remains that tribal militias could become too powerful and turn against the government if their hopes aren't satisfied. After 3 weeks, I am back at the Bajor fort and things have moved on. I'm allowed to meet prisoners the army believes to be Taliban.
And these are some of the POWs that have been captured recently over there.
These men are still being investigated, so they can't be named.
Assalamu alaikum.
I came to the local bazaar and there were 7 or 8 talibs there. And they said, you take these machine guns and go and give them to talibs at a nearby place. I said, no, I can't do it. You do it yourself. Then a Taliban by the name of Muhammad Zada said, I know you and the village that you come from. And if you don't do it, we will not let you go and we will kill you. So I went, and on the way saw soldiers. They said to put down the weapons and arrested me. And another soldier came and blindfolded me and tied my hands.
All of these men deny they are with the Taliban. All have a similar story to tell. Across the fort, in the operations room, General Tariq is reviewing the plan of attack.
Tanks can support him from here. He can move outflank this Nala further from the north. I would like him to use battalion mortars here. He uses tanks out here. He starts moving from here and start fire and move also from the front. There should be no problem. Right? Bye-bye, sir.
We've inched our way up to Loisam. And we are now almost at the outskirts. As long as this doesn't go onto the air tomorrow, we are about to start with our main offensive tomorrow morning. I think we have a consensus at the national level, and that is the corner we have turned. And the people and the tribes have decided to stand up. I think they have the confidence to do so. If you look at it from a global point of view, this is a global war on terror. And it does have a share in this. So I think by getting this under control, there would be some peace, at least inching forward, I would say, at the global level.
I am back on the same road to Loisam. In the past 3 weeks, the army has taken the road bit by bit. And I've not been beyond this point before. I catch the sound of shooting and duck for cover. Eventually, we get to the front line. It's the last compound before the town of Loisam, held by the militants. The soldiers are securing the compound. The bulldozers have moved in. Colonel Anjum is leading the operations here.
This is the place which is called the Rashakai. Rashakai was the strong hub of miscreants.
Of the Taliban?
Of the Taliban. In fact, they were sitting here, they were posing a lot of problems to us. In fact, there were a lot of tunnel system here.
Right.
They were well linked, okay?
Right.
And alhamdulillah, today we have captured this, and we intend going with a smooth speed.
So you've just captured this?
Yeah, just now.
This just now?
You please go back now.
You, ma'am. Okay.
The army does not want us here because, in fact, we've come further than we're supposed to have been. This is very much an active line. As the Colonel was saying, they've only just taken this position today. Let's go, actually, there's some firing.
As I leave, the army is putting everything into the fight in the final push to rid Loasam of the militants. It's taken them 3 months to seize back Bajour. The Taliban and Al-Qaeda have been forced away from the Afghan border, but they are now closer to the major cities. My journey here has really changed my perceptions about this war on terror and what it means for Pakistan.
We are suffering the maximum. We have killed the maximum.
The fighting here has shown the militants they can't set themselves up as the alternative rulers in the tribal areas. This is no longer a proxy war for the West. This is now a war for Pakistan's sovereignty and democratic system.
I will take the writ of law to the ends of the last borders post of Pakistan.
But for many Pakistanis, this reality is obscured by deep resentment of American interference in Pakistan's affairs and what they see as the arrogance of American power.
अगर इसी तरह जिहाद जारी रहा तो अमेरिका भी ज़ेरो फॉर बन जाएगा वो सुपर पावर नहीं सुपर पावर सिर्फ अल्लाह ही हो सकता है.
In the end, fighting cannot resolve the conflict. But while the leadership of Al-Qaeda survives and has Taliban support, this destructive war looks set to continue here.
They can't remain forever. They can't terrify the whole world.
Ultimately, the only real hope will be a common desire to move beyond differences, to build peace in a democratic Pakistan, and a chance for the development it so desperately needs.